Hi, that's okay, it's recording. Hi, welcome to week 6. Wanted to welcome you to week 6, I guess. And just give you a little brief intro to what we're doing this week. This week we're taking a little turn in terms of our thinking, and we're looking at how to find resources that we can use in our lit reviews and in our research proposals. And so you're going to be learning how to evaluate sources, especially those you might find on the internet, what's appropriate and what's not. And you're reading this week out of your Preparing Literature Reviews book and the supplemental readings that are in Blackboard. And there's also a library tutorial that I'd like you to take, which also gives you some informative, for lack of a better word, information about using the databases there for searching. Few things, just like housekeeping type things, I'll tell you about. Next week, your introduction is due, and last week's course video, introduction video, talked a lot about that process, about the sort of my idea about the funnel and the whole thing. I know some people had some other questions, wanted some more information to hear me talk a little bit more about that. So the introduction that you will turn in for the assignment next week, during week 7, was very brief. 2 to 3 pages, maybe 4 max. It shouldn't be more than 4 pages, not including references. Be sure to do it in APA format for manuscripts, which you can find in the APA manual. You can see an actual picture. If you go to the back of the book, it talks about manuscript prep, and then it actually has photographs of pages, and I'm going to give you the page number. I'll show you sort of what it looks like. So you can see what exactly that title page is supposed to look like. So your 4 pages for your intro is not going to be including your references or your title page. See there, it shows you a picture. It should look like that. If it doesn't look like that, it's not right. That's on page 306 in the APA manual, 5th edition. So be sure you get that out and you visit it, because you're going to need to turn your introduction and all the facets of this research proposal into me in APA format for manuscripts, as if you were submitting it. So be sure you visit that. That may be the hardest part of the whole assignment for you, but be sure you go there and do that. And then remember that the introduction section should be the thing that pulls me in, that hooks me to understanding why this is an important topic of study. So while you won't go into the same kind of detail that you will for the review of literature, it should be giving me the highlights, the high points from the literature, and the highlights of the gaps, and then the highlights of how you think your study is going to meet those gaps. And I have put examples up in our Blackboard shell of some proposals I have done, which doesn't mean that they're perfect, it's just the only examples I had access to, so that you can get an idea of how the introduction differs from the review of literature. So I hope that's helpful. If it's not, feel free to get on the boards or send me emails this week, because I know you'll be frantically writing. But hopefully the video from last week answered most of your questions. If it didn't, by all means, let me know. I know that you get into the anxiety-provoking parts when you start submitting your written work, because you know I love to give feedback. Let's see. You also have a midterm coming up, week 8, and I wanted to give you a little heads up about the midterm. That week there is not a quiz, of course, because you have a midterm, but the midterm will cover information from that chapter, from chapter 10 in the Babby text and your supplemental readings. It will cover everything that we have covered so far. The good news for you is that many of the questions on the midterm you will have seen before, because they will come from your previous quiz questions. So go into Blackboard, click on your quiz, grade, and you should be able to access the quiz and the answers that you turned in. Print those off and use those as you study. And then there will be 10 questions that you haven't seen before from Chapter 10, as well as 20 additional questions from the Babby text, covering Chapters 1 through 10, to give you 100 questions. They will be each question will be 1 point each, and the midterm will be different from the quizzes. You won't be allowed to go in and make multiple attempts. The midterm, once you log in to take the exam, you'll have to complete it. So be sure that you've read everything, that you've studied, that you feel prepared. They'll all be multiple choice type questions, just as the quizzes have been. So you won't be asked to do any short answer or anything like that. But start going in there and getting these old quizzes, and if you have trouble locating your old quizzes, let me know and we can give you some information on how to access those. Because how many quizzes have you had by then? 70 of the questions will be questions that you have already answered on previous quizzes. Okay? And that will be due at 5 p.m. on the 24th of March when you come back from spring break. We'll open that up for you before spring break starts, and so you'll have all of spring break that you have available to access that final as well. But remember, don't try to go in and take it, the first day it opens. I really want you to study and feel comfortable and confident, because you do not get multiple attempts on the midterm. So when you go in, make sure that you're ready to finish it. Some tips: move your mouse around a lot so you don't get locked out. If you do get locked out of the quiz for whatever reason, email me or Alan, and we can see what we can do to help you out. But make sure that you do that well ahead of the due date, because if you get locked out and it's after the due date, we won't be able to do anything for you. So that's just some stuff that's coming up. 2 big things coming up in the next few weeks that I know is weighing on your mind. The quantitative-qualitative critique will also be due week 9. And then the chats will start week 10. Alan will be coordinating chat sign-up times for you in future weeks. So keep an eye out on the Blackboard shelf for him to be asking you to sign up for certain times. We'll have multiple times available for you to sign up for, so that we hope it makes it easy for everybody to get to one. Actually 2. You need to come to a quantitative and a qualitative. So things are starting to heat up a little bit. Enjoy this week. This week may be a little bit less taxing for you on your brain in terms of the content that we're covering, but that's intentional because I know you're busy working on that introduction and want to devote some time to that. But I'm hoping that this topic this week will at least help you identify some additional ways you can locate some sources to assist you in that introduction. Just a little bit about appropriate and inappropriate sources for this class. And for any scholarly writing that you do, you need to make sure they are scholarly sources, peer-reviewed journals, edited books. Just getting something off a web page is not considered a scholarly source, and Wikipedia is not a scholarly source, so please don't use it. The reason for this is because anybody can go, with any kind of technological savvy, can go on and make a web page and put whatever they want on there, and people will take it to be true. So we really have to make sure that the sources you're using are credible. They've been peer-reviewed, they're scholarly in nature. So stick with the journals, stick with the edited books and things like that. And the tutorials and the information that you're receiving this week should assist you in locating those kinds of sources. If you're still having trouble, put something on the boards so that we know about it, because you probably won't be the only one. I can tell you that some of my favorite databases to search are PsycInfo. ERIC's good, although sometimes they're not peer-reviewed, so you have to be careful there. You can also use the Child and Family Studies databases that are there in the library. If any of you have access to campus and can get here and go visit the library in person, the librarians there are extremely helpful, and they would be happy to sit down with you and assist you with your searches if that's an option for you. If you are far away, which I know we have people all over the country and the world, there are distance librarians that might be able to assist you via email or telephone. So keep all those options in mind. I think that's all I have to say to you all this week. So hopefully you're trucking along on your intros. Hopefully you all have a topic identified and are feeling confident in now knowing what to go search. If you're having trouble finding articles on your topic, try changing your keywords around, doing some little tricks like that. Check out the reference pages of the articles you did find. See what other journals or articles are there. Use that reference list and go get some of those articles. And you can also go find which journals are publishing a lot on your area, and then go look at tables of contents and see what they've got in the last couple years. So good luck to you. I'm looking forward to reading your introductions next week. So if you have any questions at all about those, feel free to let me know, and I will see you online.